Good evening, travelers of the heart and seekers of the hidden truths behind the flashing lights. Welcome back to Whatever You Need, the only digital sanctuary where we do not simply report the news, we feel it. We are here to peel back the glossy layers of celebrity life and expose the raw, beating heart underneath. Tonight, we are not discussing a script, a contract, or a red carpet pose. We are discussing a moment so fragile, so electric, and so undeniably human that it has silenced the gossip columns and left an entire fandom holding its breath. We are taking you inside a birthday celebration that began with candles and champagne, but ended with a resurrection of a love we all thought was lost to history. We are talking about Özge Yağız, Gökberk Demirci, and the single kiss that stopped time itself. Before we step into that candlelit venue and witness the magic firsthand, we ask that you secure your place in our community. Please subscribe to the channel, press the like button to show you value deep, emotional storytelling, and for those who wish to support the architecture of these narratives directly, we warmly invite you to click the join button. Your membership is the pillar that holds up this platform. Now, let us open the heavy doors to the party of the year. The night began as a picture of curated perfection. It was Özge Yağız's birthday, a date marked on the calendars of the Turkish elite, and the setting was nothing short of cinematic. One of the city's most exclusive venues had been transformed into a haven of celebration, soft amber lighting, the clinking of crystal glasses, and the low, melodious hum of laughter filling the air. It was an intimate yet glamorous gathering, the kind of evening where the air smells of expensive perfume and anticipation. Özge herself was the centerpiece of this tableau. She greeted her guests in an attire that defied simple description, elegant, yes, but with a certain lightness, a radiance that spoke of a woman comfortable in her own skin and ready to celebrate another year of life. Her smile was warm, her laughter frequent. She accepted the congratulations of her friends one by one, moving through the crowd like a swan gliding on a calm lake. To the casual observer, the energy in the room suggested an evening that would be pleasant, ordinary, and perhaps a little predictable. There would be cake, there would be toasts, and then everyone would go home. But destiny, as it often does, had written a different script for this particular night. The atmosphere, which had been vibrating with the standard frequency of a high society party, shifted tectonically the moment the heavy doors swung open to reveal an uninvited, yet deeply familiar guest. Until Gökberk walked through the door. The arrival of Gökberk Demirci was not just an entrance, it was a disruption in the fabric of the evening. Although the couple had been separated for some time, a separation that had been chronicled, analyzed, and mourned by their legions of fans. His presence at this event was noteworthy in itself. Why was he here? Who had invited him? Or had he come of his own volition, driven by a force stronger than pride? The surprise that crossed Gökberk's face, when he first stepped in and realized that all eyes had turned to him was fleeting. It quickly gave way to a restrained, almost stoic calm. He was a man on a mission, a figure of silent determination moving through a sea of whispers. The guests, composed of the elite and the observant, began to murmur. The presence of former lovers in the same confined space is always a recipe for tension, but no one, absolutely no one, could have predicted the seismic event that would unfold mere minutes later. Gökberk did not hover at the edges. He did not seek the safety of the bar or the shadows of the corners. He made his way through the crowd with a singular focus, parting the sea of guests until he stood before her. Özge, who had been laughing with a friend, turned. Her breath hitched, a small, audible sigh that seemed to suck the oxygen out of the immediate vicinity. There was a brief conversation. To the onlookers, the words were inaudible, lost under the pulse of the music. But the body language spoke a volume of its own. There was a hesitation, a vulnerability, a question hanging in the air between them. And then, in a move that defied all the unwritten rules of ex-lovers meeting in public, Gökberk leaned toward her. He did not pull back. He did not offer a polite handshake or a distant kiss on the cheek. At that moment, the laws of physics seemed to suspend themselves. Time stood still. In the seconds that Gökberk kissed Özge, right there, in the center of the room, in front of everyone, the music faded into a dull hum. The conversations ceased mid-sentence. The cameras, usually so aggressive, seemed to freeze in focus. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated connection, a reclaiming of territory that everyone assumed had been ceded long ago. It wasn't a showy kiss meant for the headlines, it was a desperate, tender collision of past and present. According to Özge's later account to her closest circle, a confession whispered in the safe harbor of the aftermath, she was heard saying, "I forgot everything in that moment." Let us unpack that phrase. I forgot everything. She forgot the pain of the breakup. She forgot the lonely nights. She forgot the harsh words that might have been exchanged, the distance that had grown between them like weeds in a neglected garden, and the unspoken words that had piled up like stones in a wall. All of it vanished, incinerated by the heat of that contact. For an instant, there was no history, only the present. This unexpected closeness sent shockwaves through the guests. The room was divided in its interpretation. Some, the romantics, saw this moment as the glorious reunion of a great love, a proof that true soulmates always find their way back to each other, no matter how tangled the path. Others, the cynics, saw it as a spontaneous gesture born of the heightened emotions of a birthday night, a fleeting spark that would burn out by morning. However, the visual evidence suggested something deeper. Özge's emotional expression. Her eyes closed, her body softening into his, and Gökberk's confidence suggested this was more than a simple gesture. In particular, the fact that Özge remained silent for a brief moment after they pulled apart, her eyes still closed as if trying to memorize the feeling, seemed to demonstrate the profound sincerity of her internal monologue. She had indeed forgotten everything else. The night did not end there. Later, as the party resumed a tentative rhythm around them, the couple was seen sitting side by side in a quieter corner. They were conversing at length, their heads bent close together, a private island in the middle of the celebration. They smiled occasionally, not the polite smiles of acquaintances, but the soft, knowing smiles of two people who share a secret language. These images, captured by the eyes of the attendees, sparked immediate speculation in the gossip columns that were already being drafted in minds across the room. Could this be a new beginning? Close friends of Özge whispered that she hadn't experienced such intense emotions in a long time. Gökberk, too, appeared deeply moved, his protective demeanor returning as if he had never left her side. Although neither party made an official statement to the press after the birthday celebration, that moment broke the silence that had surrounded them for weeks. Özge's sentiment, "I forgot everything in that moment," was perhaps the first step in building a delicate bridge between the past and the future. It was an admission that the slate had been wiped clean, not by logic but by feeling. The world of celebrity gossip is now focused on one singular, burning question. Will this surprise kiss remain just a nostalgic birthday memory, a ghost of what once was? Or will it be the prologue to a new story for Özge and Gökberk? For now, the only certainty is that this night will not be easily forgotten. It has etched itself into the mythology of their relationship. Although the evening seemed to have ended as guests began to filter out, the real story began after the birthday candles were blown out. As the crowd thinned, leaving only the echoes of the party, time passed differently for the two of them. Witnesses observed a poignant scene at the exit, Gökberk pausing at the door, looking around as if to ensure the coast was clear, and then Özge walking to his side. It was clear that the night wasn't just a fleeting moment. She whispered to a friend that it wasn't just a celebration, it was a revelation. The thoughtful expression on Özge's face and Gökberk's protective demeanor, as they stood together, were the clearest signs that their bond had never truly been broken. It had merely been stretched, tested, but never severed. According to leaked behind-the-scenes information, after that kiss, they had a conversation that stripped away all pretenses. Özge reportedly recalled all the hurts of the past, listing them one by one, not to accuse, but to release. She realized that despite the list of grievances, her heart still beat in the same place it always had, for him. Gökberk, on the other hand, allegedly declared that that night was no coincidence. He hadn't just stopped by. He specifically wanted to be there on her birthday. The phrase, "I didn't want to leave you alone that day," became the most widely known detail of that conversation. It speaks to a deep, abiding loyalty that transcends relationship status. He didn't want her to age another year without him witnessing it. We have to pause here. This line, "I didn't want to leave you alone that day," is incredibly powerful. It suggests that Gökberk sees himself as her guardian, her witness, regardless of whether they are officially together. What do you think? Is showing up uninvited romantic, or is it risky? And do you believe that a single kiss can truly erase the pain of the past? We want to hear your analysis of this dynamic in the comments below. And remember, if you want to support high-quality storytelling, the join button is the best way to do it. The following day, the digital world waited for a confirmation. A photo, a story, a cryptic emoji. But the silence on social media was striking. Neither Özge nor Gökberk posted anything regarding the events of the night. However, those close to them claim that this silence isn't an escape route or a denial. Rather, it is a way of processing intense emotions. When something is real, you don't post it, you live it. In the world of celebrity gossip, everyone is now focused on the same detail: Gökberk's presence and Özge's admission. "I forgot everything." And sometimes a birthday can become more than just a marker of time. It can be a portal. It can be the moment where a new year signifies not just getting older, but getting back what was lost. It can be the resumption of an unfinished story. We are left watching two people standing on the precipice of a second chance. The past is heavy, but that kiss proved that the present is powerful. Thank you for joining us for this emotional journey into the heart of Özge Yağız's birthday surprise. This has been a special presentation by Whatever You Need. We will be watching closely to see if this bridge holds, or if it was just a beautiful illusion. If you enjoyed this video, please do not forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And once again, for those who want to be part of our inner circle, the join button is waiting for you. Until next time, remember, sometimes, to move forward, you have to forget everything. Goodbye.